Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today is finally time to do my March wrap up. So I read a grand total of 8 books in the month of March. Majority of them were actually physical books, so go me, and we're just gonna go through my thoughts, maybe some feelings about these books. So the first book that I managed to finish in the month of March was The Book Eaters. So I did a very short stint of The Wheel Picks my TBR, and I got the prompt of reading a BookBox book that I've had for a while, so I picked The Book Eaters, and this one actually really surprised me. I am so glad. I really enjoyed it. So The Book Eaters is following our main character, whose name escapes me because I suck at names, Devon. So our main character is Devon, and we're kind of flip-flopping between two different timelines within her life. So we are in present day when she is the mother of a son who is known as a mind eater. Well, he's not known as a mind eater, he is a mind eater, and she is a book eater. And we're flipping between that and when she was a child. Yeah, when she was a child is the first instance in the timeline jumping. So Devon is a book eater, and book eaters, funnily enough, eat books. That is what their diet is sustained by, and that can be different things from classics to kids books to romance novels, and they all have a different taste, and we do kind of get an insight into what the different genres taste like to Devon. And her son, unfortunately, is a mind eater, so he needs to eat minds to be sustained. So she's on the run with him currently, trying to find a way to give him a better life. So I rated this 4 stars, I think. Yeah, I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I loved the premise. I loved seeing Devon, and I loved watching her grow up, as well as we were also getting to know her in the present day. I thought it was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed her as a character. I loved seeing what she would do for her child, because that is the whole premise. The premise is what she would do for her child and how far she would go. And I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's a really short read, and it's also a standalone, but I don't feel like I need any more. Like, I think it was done really well. I don't feel like there are any parts of the story that I don't understand or that I would want more of. I would like to see more of this world, but I think this book is really nicely parcelled up into what it is. So that was my first read of the month. My second read was one that I don't actually own physically. It is this one, which is At the Threshold of the Universe, which is the third and final book in the T.A. Bruno trilogy. It is indie published, and I have listened to the whole series through audio. This one I bought myself. The first 2 I was gifted, I believe, by the author. I enjoyed it. I think this was actually my favourite book of the whole trilogy. So the first book, we meet 2 of our main characters, I guess. We follow them throughout the whole series, but they get progressively older, funnily enough. So we meet Denton and we meet Ellie, and I don't know how I remember those names, but I remember those names. And in the first book, we are kind of following 2 perspectives. So Ellie is already on this planet, and she is trying to discover a cure at the start for something called lung lock, because the planet that they are inhabiting, although it is good for humans, there is like this disease, so you can't breathe the outside air. That is where the story starts. There is so much more to this story, and Denton was originally on a different planet, and these big bad people, which I can't remember what they're called, come to invade his planet. So him and his family flee, and they end up on Kamaria, which is where Ellie is, and their paths cross. So the first one I didn't enjoy as much because it is more focused on a romance plot, which I'm not a real romance reader, as I am finding out, because this month I'm reading a romance book and it angers me greatly, but that's fine. But yeah, the first book follows a romance plot. The second plot follows more, I don't know, I can't really say a lot about it because it will ruin the rest of the books. But the third book is my favourite because there's a lot more action scenes. We learn a lot more about the origin of the bad things. I'm gonna have to look up what the bad things are called, because honestly it's going to bug me. But I really like the world building. I think T.A. Bruno does a fantastic job of building Kamaria and the creatures that are there, and there is a type of creature on the planet that listen to what they call the Endless Song, and I think it's just such a really good idea. Like, you can't lie to them because you can't lie in their language. I think it's done really, really well. I don't know what they're called. It's gonna really bug me. Okay, I can't find what the bad race is called, but I did find the name of the race that is already on the planet, and that is the Orkney, and they are like these really big bird-like people, and it's really good. Again, the world building is phenomenal. I really enjoy the characters in this. There is a fantastic character arc for so many characters. If you like sci-fi elements, because it is set in space, horror elements, and obviously the first book has got romance in it, but the rest of them don't really, you're going to enjoy this book, and I highly recommend you check it out. And the audiobooks are really, really well done as well. So I gave that one 4 stars. It was my favourite one of the whole trilogy, and I am looking forward to seeing what T.A. Bruno comes out with next. He has already said that he's got another book in the pipeline, I believe, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out and what it's about. I then went on to restart the Sad Ghost Club series. So this is book 1. This is where our 2 main characters meet. One is called SG and one is called Socks, and it's kind of the start of this mental health journey for them both, and I really like it. I like all 3 books. I have got the second one in this pile as well. I like it. I think it's sweet. I gave this one in particular 4 stars, I want to say. Yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. I think my love of these does kind of decline a little bit as the series goes on, but I think they cover really good topics. I think they're fantastic YA books. I think they cover the topics really well and in a very age-appropriate way as well, so it doesn't talk down to you, but it doesn't make everything sound really difficult, if that makes sense. The problems that they go through in these books, I believe, are highly relatable, especially to teenagers, and I think they're a nice cozy read. So yeah, 4 stars for that one. Enjoyed that one. My first 5-star of the month, and I don't know if this is my only 5-star, but the first 5-star of the month is this one, which is Jade War. So this is the second book in the Greenbone saga. I'm currently reading Jade Legacy, and it is a chunky book. I need to read it for the live show, which will be happening on Thursday as this video is going up. So if you're around tomorrow, because this will be up on the Wednesday, if you're around tomorrow evening on Lisa's channel, the link will be on the Twitter, which is always down below. It's all about fantasy. Come and join us for the talk where we will discuss our thoughts and feelings on the 3rd and final book and wrap up this trilogy. Very excited, but this one I loved. I have said previously that I reckon Jade War could have been 5 stars, but I hadn't finished it in time for the live show, so Lisa unfortunately had to ruin everything that happened in the second half of the book, but I asked her to because I sucked and I didn't read it. This one I'd read, and I read it before the show, and it made me feel so many things, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I loved it. I am enjoying the second one. This is the second one. The third one, and I can't wait to continue the series. I can't say a lot about this one, obviously, because sequel, but the idea and the premise behind this is that there are 2 major clans that deal in jade. Jade is only worn by certain people that are Kekonese, which is the island is Kekon. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. And if you are Kekonese, then you can wear jade, and it gives you almost like a superpower-esque like thing. So you can jump really high through using light, you can steal, you can channel, do loads of different things with it, and it makes you a very good fighter, or that is predominantly what it is used for. And these 2 gangs kind of like battle it out, and there's a massive turf war, and it just continues throughout the whole series. So I'm enjoying it. It's good. So there's that. Then I listened to the audiobook of Finale, which is the 3rd and final book in the Caraval series. Look at me trying to wrap up some series. So this follows 2 characters, which I can't really say a lot about because it will spoil what happens in the first 2 books, so we're not going to talk too much about that. But Caraval itself, the first book, is based in this like magical world where you can either participate in the game or you can watch, and if you participate in the game of Caraval, you don't know what's real. So many things can happen never trust what is said, and I highly agree that that is what happened in this book as well. I didn't know where to look, I didn't know what was happening. However, I did give this 3 stars. I think out of all 3 of the books, this is my least enjoyed one, and I don't know why. It has been a while since I read the first 2, so maybe it's because I'm older, maybe it's just when I read it. It's a good book, I enjoyed it, but there wasn't as much love and intrigue as I had in the first 2. I don't know, but I finally finished the series, so I'm very happy about that. My next read was also 3 stars, and that is The Sad Ghost Club Volume 2. Like I said, my enjoyment of this series has kind of gone a little bit downhill with the rest of the installments. That is the correct word. Again, another fantastic representation of mental health in a really good, digestible way, I feel like. So if you haven't checked these books out, definitely do, because they are enjoyable. They're kind of like the cozy book that I need every now and again. So there's that. Then I did a reread, which was Paladin Unbound by Jeff Spate. I gave this 4 stars yet again. I did give it a 4 stars the first time. This is the first book in Jeff's... Is this the Evelium series? I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, An Archives of Evelium tale. So in this book we are following Umra, who is half orc, and he is part of a mercenary gang, and he petitions this High Lord for this mercenary role, and he wants to prove himself and basically get a job for his crew, and they get the job, and it's just one thing after another for poor Umra. Like, there is so many things that go wrong for him. I feel for him so much, but I really enjoy this series. Jeff has very kindly gifted me the sequel as well, which is Mystic Reborn, and I am in the process of reading it. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit slower than I planned, but I am really enjoying it, so I cannot wait to get back into the world and finish it off and see where the story takes us. If you like D&D, you will enjoy this, because it is that kind of vibe. If you're like me and you don't play D&D, but you still like fantasy, you will still enjoy this, because I don't play D&D, but I really enjoyed this. I love the characters, I love the arc, I love the audiobook as well, which is what I did with this. I re-listened to the audiobook, even though I said I'd listen to it. I'd read it physically rather than listen to it. I listened to it because I was running out of time. But yeah, 4 stars, highly recommend, loved this a lot. And then my final book of the month was also a 4 star, and it was a surprising 4 star, and it was the first buddy read with Kate that I've actually managed to complete so far this year, and that is The Atlas 6 by Livy Blake. I am surprised by how much I enjoyed this book, and I can understand why people don't enjoy it, if I'm completely honest. But I think the reason people don't enjoy it is the reason I loved it. So this book, we are following 6 different perspectives, and we follow 6 different perspectives of 6 different people who are invited to join the society based within this book, which is actually protecting the books of the Alexandria Library. I believe that's correct. These characters, none of them are particularly likeable. They all have something that they're hiding. They all have something that they are hiding from the other people. They all have really bad or annoying traits. And I loved it. I love all the grey characters because they're all doing this for something. They all want part of this academy for some... Oh, academy, it's not an academy. They all want part of this society for something. The idea of this that they were invited for is that 6 join, only 5 make it through. It is a 2-year program. The first year you study with the 6 of you. Someone then doesn't make it through to the second year and you're left with 5 people. Now, what does that mean? For the 6 people, how do they come down to 5? You have to read it to find out. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm so looking forward to actually reading the sequel. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. I'm thinking about spacing it out a little bit because I know the 3rd book comes out later this year, I think. So I'm putting it off slightly so that I can spread it out. But I do want to finish that series, especially if the next book does come out this year. So there you go, there are the 8 books that I managed to read this month. I think I did really well, I'm quite impressed. In order to hit 100 books this year, I had to read... In order to hit 100 books this year, I had to read 8 books for like 10 months and then 10 books for the other 2 months or something stupid like that. This is the first month that I have read 8 books. I am rather behind. So if you've got any short read recommendations, let me know down in the comments, because I need to get some of them rolling through at the minute. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, really supports me on my channel. Leave me a comment down below of your favourite book from the month of March that you have read, or let me know your April reading plans, whatever. Let me know. If you want to leave me an emoji, leave me any red emoji for Jade War, because that was my only 5-star of the month and I love that book. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ring that notification bell to get notified every single time I upload new videos. I'm trying to upload every Wednesday and Sunday, so be sure to stick around for more bookish content from me. Otherwise, that's everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day and I'll see you again soon. Bye.